So good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for being here on your Saturday. Really appreciate you spending a little time with us. For those who don't know, because we've got a good number of guests registered for this who are not regular TRG members. Of course, some of our diehard TRGers are here as well. So for those who don't know me, I am Jonathan Van Kloot, and I am, well, first and foremost, I'm a student of TRG. I joined TRG in March of 2020, just after it had formed, actually. I didn't know that at the time, but it was just a few months after its birthing into existence, and just got more and more involved in the community over time. And gradually it became clear that a bunch of my former professional skills were going to be really useful within TRG. And so I stepped up as community manager and have been doing that for a couple of years now, and coming up on my 3rd year anniversary, in fact, in March of being in TRG, which is really cool. So that's me. And then our co-founders, Lee Harris and Jeff Mayhem, are both here. Lee is the one with the funny accent. Say hello, Lee.
Hello, everybody. I have no accent. It's just the transatlantic people that believe I do. We invented the language.
He's actually American, but this is what COVID does to your voice. It's really impressive.
I'm about halfway through my first COVID experience, so this is delightful. Just a bit of background about me. I've been trading on and off since the early 90s. I went full-time on futures in about 2014. I write software for order flow analysis that goes out through Emoji Trading, and a co-founded trading research group with Jeff. It was 2019, wasn't it? The ability of my brain, 2019 into 2020, the ability of my brain today to do mathematics is going to be dire, quite frankly. But we're big advocates on order flow analysis, trading the way you do in physical prop firms, reading the dome, reading footprints, building trading plans, how you can get to a point where you can trade consistently and have a chance of trading for a living. That's why we like working so much with LeeLoo and their ilk, because evaluation programs give people a really good opportunity to get into trading without risking too much their own capital. But, we'll no doubt get back to more of that theme as the morning goes on.
Yes, indeed. And then that brings us to our other cohort, who is Jeff. Say hello, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about you.
Good morning. I'm the dinosaur here. I've been trading since 1973 and started in options. Then I've traded equities a lot, but that was never my focus. And I started trading futures in the mid 80s. And in the mid 90s, I started writing scalping systems for trading futures in eSignal, if you remember that platform. And so I've been around forever. My focus is on very, very short-term price action, although I remain mindful of market structure and the big picture context, but my edge is definitely in the short term, and that's what I teach in TRG. And beyond that, I don't know what else to say. So that's me.
I think that will do for now. So cool. So that is all of us. And then, of course, we're here with Chris, CEO of LeeLoo. So for those who, I'm guessing most people probably are familiar with LeeLoo and at least passingly familiar with you, Chris. But in case anybody here is not, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how it relates?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. My name is Chris. I unlike you guys, I haven't been trading that long, about 5 or 7 years. Time flies by, so I can't even keep up with it. But I've been the CEO at LeeLoo for a year now. Actually, this month has been a year. And LeeLoo is a platform that allows traders to come and practice their skills, to learn futures trading, to be able to master whatever strategy they're trying to do without, putting their capital in there. And so, you go through a practice account, and if you qualify, you get into a performance account, and you have the opportunity, once you meet certain benchmarks, to get payouts.
There you go. So these evaluations are really useful tools, and within TRG we really do see them as tools. I actually didn't realize these things were legit when I first joined TRG. I had heard of them. I first stumbled past Top Step, and I mean, I think they might have actually been the only one around at the time. I think there was Axia as well, but they're a little bit of a different model. And in like 2018, I first stumbled across Top Step, and everything about it screamed, "Oh, this is such a scam. There's no way this is legitimate. Oh yeah, we'll give you money to trade. Right, sure you will." And so I completely wrote it off and didn't pay any attention to it at all, and just it was a scam. Period. End of story. In my mind, that's what it was. And it wasn't until being in TRG for a little while that Jeff and Lee were, of course, very familiar with this space, and of course the space exploded as well, and all these other companies, LeeLoo and Apex and Earn to Trade, and just on and on and on. More and more companies started popping up just about every day, it seemed like, and Jeff and Lee started to steer a lot of us within TRG towards these companies and really explain what they are and what they're not. One common pet peeve, I guess, of mine, or misconception that I see out there, is people refer to these as prop firms, and they really aren't prop firms. They're evaluation companies. Now, some of them do have a prop firm component within them, where they have a select group of traders that are trading real cash accounts that are real broker and so forth. And, they do that. But really the model here, for our purposes, it has nothing to do with being a prop firm. It's an evaluation company, and it is a specific, it's a game is really what we think of it as. It's a specific kind of game. It's subtly different from trading, from quote unquote real trading in some important ways. But basically you follow the rules, prove that you have an edge, and you can trade consistently and pass the test, and presto, you will have an account that you are able to share in the profits of. And whether that account is cash money in the markets or not is sort of neither here nor there. In some cases it is. In most cases it isn't. But it doesn't really matter, because the end result to you is that you can, for a small monthly subscription, or in some cases no subscription, depending on the evaluation, you can have the chance to share on the profit if you can meet the criteria, which sounds a whole lot easier than it is, because trading has a funny way of bringing out all of our worst characteristics and flaws and habits and foibles and human personality quirks and everything else. So these rules will really expose those behaviors in ways that you will be surprised by. But if you can get a handle on them, then there's money to be had in them. So I guess that's kind of the lay of the land with regards to what LeeLoo is and what evals are all about. How long has LeeLoo been around? I know you said this before, but I can't remember actually when you guys started.
Yeah. Gosh, it's about, I would say, I think we're going into, so this year will be going, I think, in the 4th or 5th year. So, okay. And then, like I said, time, I am not a time person. Time just flies by,
It does.
But yeah, we've been around, and something I do want to, since you brought it up, I want to mention, because we get this question a lot, and I think it's important to understand, like you just said about what is LeeLoo, for example, or this other companies, we're not a prop firm. We're not a funding company, so we have a software, a platform that provides, individual traders an opportunity to test their skills in the market with simulated currency, and the potential for payouts by the, we call like the periodic performance-based contest, like what we know it has performance accounts. And so we're, the leading education platform that champions retail traders. And so just want to clear that up, now and we can talk about this later, but I can kind of talk about the process of how the journey of the trader kind of goes in the life of LeeLoo, if that's something you want to talk about later, but just wanted to touch up on that since you brought it up.
Yep. That's a really good point. And by the way, I did forget to say this in my introduction, but this is an AMA, Ask Me Anything. So I see that Joe has already started us off with a question or comment in the chat to talk to, which is great. Any other questions or comments or anything anybody has, by all means, throw them in the chat. I did have a thought, Chris, and I didn't run this by you ahead of time, so I'm just going to wing it and throw this out to you now. I know you were talking about doing 5 account giveaways. And, I didn't know exactly what the method and mechanism for doing that was going to be. But it occurred to me, what if we did a subjective one for the best question?
Sure. Yeah.
And, just have everybody, we'll give everybody maybe, I don't know, don't make them super long or it'll take forever to type, but, maybe 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, we'll chat here, throw your questions into the chat, and we will just let Chris subjectively look them over and see which one he feels is, the best question, best, most interesting, whatever. I'll let him decide the exact criteria. And the person who asks that question or presents that topic or whatever can get a free evaluation from LeeLoo. Yeah. And maybe pass the test and get a chance to withdraw some cash. So we'll let you guys throw those into the chat. That's great. Let's see. So a question for you as well. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on my questions in case somebody brings up that question. I don't want to steal their thunder. So I will wait until everybody has had a chance, a few minutes to throw their questions in. So cool. So Chris, I know you're obviously your business focus is CEO of LeeLoo. Are you still actively trading your own cash? Are you trading LeeLoo accounts? Are you trading evaluations? Like, what is it you're doing these days?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah, I am trading my own account. I opened my own. So my journey is probably like many traders, unique. But in my case, I had a good friend. I've shared this before. I was at a party or at an event, and all my good friends were there. And I have a friend that's about 12, 13 years older than I am. And all of us were like professionals, young professionals. And, we had a job that you go to and you have to, go to get paid, and then, you leave. And this guy just never seemed to go work. And finally, every time we've asked him in the past, he just kind of gave us a random answer like, oh, I just dabble in the market and stuff. And one day I went up to him. I said, dude, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I just play with the market. And I said, no. What do you actually do? And I sat him down and he said, okay, well, I trade the futures market. And I said, what is the futures market? And he started talking, and I said, tell me everything. And he took, I'll fast forward. He told me, look, give me 3 years, 3-4 years, and I'll set you up. And but just you're gonna have to treat this like seriously, like college, and so I did. And so for like a whole year I traded sim. We were working on the mechanics, on the on my strategy, and just watching the market. And when he said, okay, you're ready, he gave me certain tests that I had to do to meet certain goals within the sim platform. And then when he said I was ready, I thought I was ready to open my own account, go to whatever broker and open my own account. He said, whoa, no. Let me introduce you to LeeLoo. And he introduced me to some others as well after LeeLoo. And so just to give me options. And I remember, just like you, when I looked at LeeLoo,
way too good to be true, right?
Yeah, it was like I go to YouTube and I saw their YouTube videos, and I said, this is the biggest scam there's ever been. And I look at my friend, like, dude, how can you do this to me? You're setting me up. I mean, who knows this company? And because there's if you look at the early YouTube videos, they're they're unique, right? And so but he says, no, Chris, I've tested them out for you. I've gotten actually payouts from them. So you're good. And I'm like, huh, okay. And so in my mind, worst case scenario, back in the day, the biggest discount was like 25%. So I got like a 25% discount on the 50K account, and I traded it, met the profit target within like 3 days. I still had to wait 10 days. This is back in the day where you had to like email every day, like a screenshot of all your trades or something. I got my PA, and it lasted me like 2 days, and I blew it. And then he said, that is why you need LeeLoo. Because if that would have been your account you opened, you would have blown that up. And so no matter how much money you would have put in there. And so that's how I came to know LeeLoo. That's how I began trading. And then I've got several payouts and grew as a trader. I went from holding a PA for 2 days to 2 weeks to 2 months to a year and over a year. And then for mainly really for tax purposes, I just decided to go open my own account, and it's been great. So I do trade. I do a little bit of trading. I have a method that I just decide when I open the charts, my computers and everything, if my setup is happening, I'll go in. If it's not there, I go to work. And so that's helped me to not even trade every day. That's helped me to control my emotions, because I still struggle with wanting to overtrade. I want to sit there all day and trade. So what helps me is actually having a job like LeeLoo to not stay there all day and just, go wild.
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually had to do something similar, although for me, that job became trading. And that really was not like that was the solution to all my human trading woes or anything. But that was a big turning point for me within TRG, is when I finally understood the value of coming to my trading desk, sitting down and understanding what my job is today. Like my job in the markets. Here are my setups. Here's my playbook. This is my job. My job is to do these specific things, nothing else. My job is not to chase every little thing. My job is not to spot mysterious patterns in the chart, whatever. My job is to do these things, nothing else. And if those things aren't there to be done, well, then I have nothing to do. Go do something else. And that was hugely valuable. Trading less, not trading more, because I was the same way. I would look for a reason to sit there and stare at the screen all day long and want to do stuff. I'm a trader. Traders got to trade. I want to trade. And that's death. Just asking for trouble.
Yes, for sure.
So we've got quite a few comments and questions have thrown in the chat here. So this is good. I don't know if you've been able to keep up on them as they've been coming in, Chris, but if you want to take a perusal through them and see what you think, or I don't know how you want to do it. Maybe you want to just address them all first, and then after we've gotten through them, say which one you think is the best.
Yeah, I think that would be the best. I think let's go through them, and then then we can pick one or even the top two. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll leave that to you. I'll just start at the top, and I'll just throw the questions to you, and we can chat around them and see what we see. So Joe was the first one with a question or comment, and he's got a question about the withdrawal frequency. He says LeeLoo's good, but they need to get competitive with their withdrawals. 30 days is crazy with other firms having 7 days. And we've seen recently more and more companies are coming out with, first it was 15-day, and then 10-day, now 7-day, and there's even one, or no, I'm thinking of passing the eval, not withdrawal. So, you guys are still, it takes a little while to be able to get to money. And some of us, we decide the eval we're going to do. And that's a key component is, all right, assuming certain things along the way, who is the fastest to be able to actually get a return on my investment of time and subscription fees and whatever else. Where are you guys on your time to withdrawal?
Yeah. So actually, I'm trying to. So if I think you're sharing your screen, correct?
I am.
Okay.
Would you like to share?
No. Let's keep it on you, because I'm actually going to activate one of the WK accounts just so you can see it. It's been deactivated just because they're for limited times, depending on sales or events we're having. So let me just click save, and if you hit refresh on your screen now.
Yep, there it is, weekly accounts.
Okay. So Joe, thanks. Great question. Thank you. So there's 2 steps to that question. So first, let me say we do have an option right here, and I just activated one. We have 2 actually. They're called the WK accounts, or the weeklies. And if you qualify with those accounts, you get a performance account like we've spoken about. But what makes this one's different is after you meet certain benchmarks and profits, but also if you trade as soon as 10 days, you can request that first payout. And we do that on Tuesday morning. So, and then after the first payout, after 10 days, you can request is just 4 trading days in between 4 trading days between payouts. So on every Tuesday. So we heard the feedback on that. And so we do 2 things, right? we listen to traders, but we also do. We have a team that we collect data, we look at the data, and so based on data and based on feedback, we make decisions. We try not to make emotional decisions. Just like trading, it's not wise to have a business and somebody's doing something. Oh, I'm going to start doing it too. It may work great, but we have to look at what is our goal, what is our plan, why we do what we do. Right now, as you know, many people have copied the system that Jody has started. Jody is the owner and the founder of LeeLoo, and so we take that as a huge compliment, right? And so we're always usually focus on long term and innovating, and so but based on feedback and data, we create certain accounts, we create certain programs, and so this right here will give you the option to have what it looks like you're wanting. So the other accounts are still with the 30 days. You have to trade 30 days before you can request a payout once you meet certain benchmarks, and that's the last Monday of the month. And so, and actually, Jody came up with that to allow or help traders focus on trading, focus on their strategy and not on money. And I have a firsthand experience on that. I was telling you guys that I started trading with LeeLoo. Just like maybe, just like you or maybe some of you here, you may not like the trailing drawdown. You may not like the waiting the 30 trading days to request your first payout. But those things, those very things actually made me a better trader. So when I went to my own account, right, after I've been trading for a while, I went to my own account, and really what I started doing is like, hey, I'm going to get a daily payout, $500. That's a number I came up with. I don't know why. And I did great for 2-3 weeks. And then guess what happened? There was a day that I had a losing day, and I couldn't accept the losing day because I was supposed to get $500 a day. And so now I'm so focused on the dollar that I'm not focused on my trading plan. And so I took a step back. I called my mentor. I told him what happened. He says, why would you stop doing what was working so great for you? And so I went back, and even though I was trading my own private account, I treated it like if I was still with LeeLoo. I would do at the very earliest just once a month payouts. Sometimes I will wait, and so I can focus on the trading. And many of you guys know this, when you focus on that and you follow what you're supposed to, your chances of that account growing is a lot more than if you don't follow that plan. So I hope that answers your question. And I don't know if you have a follow-up question or anybody else, I'll be happy to answer that.
Cool. Yeah, Joe, if you've got any follow-up on that or anything like that, throw it in the chat. One question that I will just piggyback on that, because the first thing that jumped out to me is just looking at this with fresh eyes. I haven't looked at the weeklies in a few weeks. Is $250 a month. It's like, okay, I'm paying a significant upfront premium for the privilege of, if I pass, being able to get weekly payouts. That's something I would have to really think hard about. And my first instinct is, I don't think I would do that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the cost of this?
Yeah. So great question, because and also we also want to make it as easy and clear. If you click, you don't have to click now, but if traders see where it says read more, you can learn more about that and all that information. But so it's only, I think it's $100 more than our regular foundation accounts, right? So now actually in January, we had it 60% off. So you could have bought the WK for 60% off lifetime.
That is true. Yep.
But here's the thing. What is the most important thing to you? So if you write down, okay, what are the 2 or 3 most important things to you? If getting more frequent payouts is the most important, then you have to be willing to put other things below that, right? If price, the cost of the monthly practice account to qualify is the most important, well, then you got to put that on top. So you got to make a decision, just like all of us, unless you just have, I guess, unlimited funds. When you go to the store, when you go buy a car, when you go buy a house, you have to make a decision. What's most important? and what is my budget. And so depending on what's the most important and what's your budget, you can decide which account you can go with. So if you feel like, man, having a weekly payout is just the most important, then, you paying an extra $100, for example, to a month to pass the practice account should be okay. But if you say, whoa, no, price is the most important, then therefore, take advantage of our other accounts that we offer. So that's kind of what I would say about that.
Okay, cool. And Joe did have a follow-up question. I'm assuming by percentage, he says, what percentage are the weekly? I'm guessing you mean payout split. Is that right, Joe? I'm assuming you mean, what's the payout split? Yeah, he did. Okay, so what is the payout split on the weeklies? Is it the same as on the regular accounts?
No, so go ahead. If you click the read more, and there's a short little table, rather, if you scroll down.
Oh, yes, here we go.
Yeah. So here, we created it where, and again, this is something like that I think I would like, and Jody and I would like, so we created it that way. So here's what we decided. We said, okay, there's some folks that may want a weekly payout. Okay. Why would they want a weekly payout? Well, maybe they want to grow their budget. Maybe they need the money, a little faster to be able to sustain their trading, right? Like the fees and all that kind of stuff. So I said, okay, we created this with 2 steps. Okay. So step 1, so we're just talking about the 25K, but there's 2 here. There's the 25K and the 50K, but we'll talk about the 25K, for example. You can request a weekly payout until you hit $10,000. Once you get $10,000 in your pocket, whether that takes you 10 weeks or 10 months, whatever it does, right? Then we will move you to our monthly accounts, okay? To our regular performance account, like the traditional performance account. And the reason we'll do that is so now, okay, you got some money in your pocket. Now you can focus on your strategy, right? And we'll give you a nice new with the trailing drawdown in the back, so you don't have to worry about that. And then be able to focus on long term, because our goal is long term. We just seen traders that do well, traders that stay with us for a while, traders that get payouts over and over and over again. They're in the long term mentality. So anyone that's thinking short term tend to not do well. I'm sure you guys will agree with that in your education. So that's what we decided. Okay, let's give them an opportunity to get something in the front end faster, but then let's move them to that long-term focus. And so we're testing it out. We don't, right, just like anything else, this will help us understand how well this is going to work for the traders, and we hope that it works great. But my concern will be, hey, try not to focus on that dollar amount, because that's going to hurt you. So, but I don't know if that answered the question. And it's the same, it's the same thing as a regular account. You keep the first 12,500, and then after that it's a 90-10. You keep 90%.
I'm gonna chip in here just one observation, and I wonder, of the people who are asking about, but can I get payouts weekly, fortnightly, whatever? How many are actually in a position with their trading right now that they could achieve that?
Mm-hmm. I was thinking the same thing.
Yep, it's a really really valid point. Is if you haven't yet been funded on something that's paying you monthly, and for more than just one singular payout, but if you've been able to keep that account alive for a good long while, does the weekly payout for you right now even make a difference? Although I do know that within TRG, there's a lot of focus on wanting to develop a cash flow, and so having more regular payouts can be nice for that. But that's something that's going to come out after some time, and you've got your consistency down, you've got your edge down, and so forth. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. That's a good
Okay,
point.
we've got a
You
couple
guys
who are.
so that was good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's see. I did see. Oh no, okay, never mind. Cool. So I think we answered that. Actually, I was going to comment to that point. Actually, I forgot. Is personally, if I was at the point where I'm working on staggering my cash flow, using multiple different companies just as an overall hedge, or, better deals at certain companies at certain moments in time and that kind of thing. I would not want to get bumped from weekly to monthly. To me, if I'm at the point where I'm getting weekly payouts, well, the point is to keep that happening so that I can keep that cash flow nice and smooth instead of these big hits only once a month. I want to be able to smooth it out. So I would not be crazy at all about getting suddenly switched to monthly if I was successfully getting the weekly withdrawals. So maybe throw that out there for your consideration.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back up here. The chat has been busy. Where are we? There we are. Let's see. He was asking a general question to everyone, but we'll throw it out to you as well, Chris, and get your opinion on this, because I'm sure you have one. Daniel's asking, what do you think is the most important quality to become a consistent trader?
Yeah, great question. And so you guys will probably do way better on this than I will, but I don't think there's always just one thing, right? I think it's a combination of things, but I
would agree.
Yeah. But if I had to say one or two, I would say, discipline and study, or study you can use as commitment. So discipline is, are you able to have self-control? You're able to say, okay, here's the plan, and I'm going to do no matter what my emotions are going to want to do. And then the discipline of the study would be, am I going to put the time into it? Am I going to really treat this like a career? Am I going to treat this like if I'm in college, or am I just going to treat this like, yeah, I'll do it sometimes, or I'll watch the screen, or yeah, I'll do this for like a week or two. Like I said, I watched Sim for a whole year. I watched screen. I watched patterns over and over and over again. I hand drew my candlesticks in random patterns. And so, I think it's that commitment, just like anything else. If you want to be the greatest athlete, it's perfect practice, right? Same thing with trading. And so when you're doing sim or whatever, which is a great place to be in start, is to have that perfect mentality of, I'm going to perfect practice and I'm going to commit to this and work on my discipline. So if I had to do those two things, I would say those are probably the two most important.
Excellent. And I'll throw my answer out there. And as much like Chris said, there isn't really one thing. It's going to depend on the person and so forth. But I'll go with having an edge. If you don't have an edge, and a real edge, and if you don't know what a real statistical trading edge is, I certainly, blatant plug here, but I certainly encourage you to come visit us at tradingresearchgroup.com, and that's what we focus on, is developing real edges and then deploying those edges consistently, repeatedly in the markets. If you don't have an edge that you can depend on and rely on and practice and work at getting better at, you're doomed. It doesn't, I don't care how committed and disciplined and dedicated you are to doing your thing that has no edge. If it has no edge, it's never going to work. So yeah, I would say you need to develop an edge, and then discipline and commitment to it, and practice, experience, emotional control, mental state control, all of that stuff, all is super critical. But for me, I would say it starts with having an edge, or at least knowing how to develop one. All right, let's see. Daniel, I think, we answered this when we just discussed the weeklies. You asked, are you looking to have accounts on weekly or semi-weekly withdrawals? But if there's anything about that topic that didn't get addressed or covered to your satisfaction, by all means, throw it in the chat and we will repeat that again. Let's see. Richard is asking about trailing drawdowns. I will take a stab at this one real quick, if you don't mind, Chris, because this is something that we talk about a lot within TRG. Basically, a trailing drawdown is whatever your high, quote unquote, high watermark is in the account. Let's say that I'm trading. It doesn't matter what the account size is. Let's say it's a $1,500 drawdown account. Which is the 25K account. It's got $1,500 drawdown. And I make $1,000 in that account. So my quote unquote account balance is now $26,000. Well, then that is the high watermark that the drawdown, the trailing drawdown begins to count from. At that point, if I've got $1,500 drawdown, I can't go down to my original starting balance of 25,000 minus 1,500. I have to go from the current high watermark minus 1,500. That's as far down as I'm allowed to go. So my drawdown now, I would be allowed to go down to 24,500 or $1,500 less than that 26,000 balance. So every time the account makes a new high in terms of its P&L, that's where the trailing is now calculated from. The thing that bites traders who don't really understand and respect this is that it is what's called an intraday unrealized trailing drawdown. Intraday unrealized trailing drawdown. What that means is that it's not based on you took the profit. So if you've got a trade and you're in the trade and it goes, it goes $1,000 into your favor, and then you hold it and it comes back to being $100 in your favor. And you say, well, I don't want to turn into a loser. I'm going to go ahead and take that profit. Take that $100 profit. Okay, great. Yeah, I made a profit. I'm good, right? Well, no, you've just given up $900 in drawdown because that number gets reset or gets set at the point you make a new high. So 26,000, that's where it was calculated from. You've now quote unquote lost $900 in drawdown. You've only got $600 left now. So the intraday unrealized trailing drawdown, you have to be fiercely protective of when you're trading these evaluations, if they have intraday unrealized. There are some out there that are end of day that are not intraday unrealized. They are based on where your account is at the end of the day. But just in general, it's vital that you pay attention to that because Lee, remind me what the math is. You can have nothing but winners and end up blowing up your account. How did the math work out, Lee?
Yeah, in fact, John Doe, I suspect, maybe a pseudonym, has said, the problem is you can have profitable strategy and still jump, presumably blow up. You have to make 200% of your account before you get any money back. This is all about, you must take profit and, exit at a P&L high because you can have the best swing trade, wavy line, chart trailing stop approach you want. But if you're on a $1,500 drawdown evaluation and you're going for home runs rather than base hits, and you have, let's say, $100 trailing stop, you can have 15 winners in a row where your trailing stop stops you out in profit, and you can blow an intraday unrealized P&L evaluation because you're not taking profits at a P&L high.
Yep. And that is supremely unintuitive if you're new to these evaluations because it sounds ridiculous. Like, wait, I had 15 winners in a row. Winners. How can I possibly kill the account? How can I blow up? How is that losing? I only won. I never had a losing trade. Well, look at the math of a trailing drawdown. If you've got a $100 trailing drawdown and you give up $100 of that drawdown, well, you have a $1,500 drawdown. $100 times 15. You just ate up all your drawdown. So it's really...
And this is typically where lots of people go wrong who have been brought up on technical analysis and, move my stop to the previous bar extreme, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because this is not how people trade in prop firms. One of my mantras in TRG is always take profits. Understand where you're looking to exit, but be prepared to get out right now if conditions change.
Yep. And that's one of the hardest things. We actually just did a session on this in TRG, a class on this a couple of weeks back on, how to recognize when things have changed. And it is one of the hardest things to do is to see that, conditions have changed. I mean, sometimes, if suddenly the market goes into price discovery because NFP just hit or FOMC or, somebody bombed somebody or something. Yeah. Okay. Those are hard to miss. The market goes completely out of its mind. But a lot of times conditions will change in a way that is relatively calm and orderly. And if you don't know how to recognize that, you're just looking at, candlesticks or something that doesn't really show you anything of what's going on inside the market. you can be completely caught by surprise, and then you just watch your profitable trade dwindle away. And then, you think, well, I put my stop in, I protected my profits. Well, no, you really didn't. And now you're going to blow it up. So, so John, again, John Doe also asked, and I was going to ask you this as well, Chris, is have you guys ever thought about or talked about or done? I don't think you have any end of day drawdowns. It's all intraday unrealized. Is that right?
Yeah. So as of right now, well, we actually have, we have a static account,
Sure.
and we don't have an end of day. We try to keep things simple. We have one rule. That's it. One rule. Don't meet your max trailing drawdown or your max drawdown if you're on the static. That's it. You can do anything else you want. You can trade your max number of contracts on day one. You can trade before, during, after the news. You can hold after the market, hold contracts or positions at the close of the market. And so, we could say, hey, we can start creating more rules. So a lot of this end of day drawdown, they come with daily loss limits. In addition to that, they come with, you can only trade, you have to scale up in contracts. You can't start with the max. They come with, you can't trade the news. So, I understand some people like more rules. I get it. And so there's other companies out there that probably do a good job at that. But, we're trying to keep it simple. And the best way, when Jody created the program, she was like, I'm going to use this because I don't want to create a bunch of rules. And so I can keep up with one thing, but I don't want to keep up with a bunch of other things. Now, are we open to having an end of day drawdown? We are, but again, okay, so you got an end of day drawdown, you got a daily loss limit, just another thing to worry about. But we are open to it. We have actually we have another account that we don't advertise, and it was a static drawdown, and it didn't have enough day. But I'm always looking at different options, different things, but we just try to keep it simple because one of the things our traders love that they come to LeeLoo is, and our support stuff, our support team didn't really understand. They'll get an email. It's like, hey, what time do I have to get out of the market? And, like, hey, what time today can I not trade?
Got to be flat 5 minutes before the close or whatever. Yeah.
Right. And my team didn't understand those questions. They were like, Chris, why are they asking these questions? And I'm like, and I was like, guys, it's because they're coming from other places. And those other places have additional rules. And so they're like, oh, okay. So it kind of makes sense, right? Why they're asking that. So, yeah. So if that's kind of what your thing is, look, I tell people, go try other places out. I'll probably be the first, I'm probably one of the few CEOs ever to tell people, go test other places out. And I'm confident you'll come back to us. If you care to have less rules and you care to just be focused on a company to focus on integrity, trust, and that's gonna be here for the long term, and that's what they say and do, and say what they do. So that's what I will say about that. So hopefully that was clear.
Cool. All right, let's see here. Let me scroll back up in the chat again because it's been very busy. Wow, it's been really busy. Okay, so that was trailing drawdown. Let's see. Brent's got a question of what future products do you plan to deliver to the marketplace, and what changes do you see in 2023 for the trader funding space?
Yeah.
So get out your crystal ball. Tell us what you see.
Yeah. Thank you, Brent. So what future products? We're always working, a lot of stuff that you see develop recently, we've been working for the last year on. So, and so we're currently working on things. Whether we're going to bring it out or not is a different question. When are we going to bring it out is a question. But we're super excited about, for example, Tradovate and TradingView. Those will be coming out soon, and we'll be able to test those soon and push those out. So we're excited about that. And regarding something we're doing here at LeeLoo is we are telling traders, like, look, feel free to come to us. If we can build a package with certain accounts for you based on your needs, based on your goals, based on your budget. And so I'm really excited about that we can sit down with the trader and talk to them and say, okay, what's your budget, right? Which is the most important thing. We have to know what your budget is. That's going to help us determine, then what is your goals? What are you looking to do? Where you are in your trading journey? And then that will help us decide some accounts that may be a best fit for you specifically. Because a lot of times, and I'm sure you guys probably get this, in your trade room, is people, and I'm guilty just as anyone else, they tend to listen to the noise, or they listen, oh man, my favorite account's the 100K. Everybody should get that account. Everybody buy it right now. That's the only account to trade. Every other account is the worst. And you're like, wait, what? And so there are people that, they listen to that and they think that's the best way for them. And that's not the case. And so anyway, so people can reach out to us and we'll listen to you based on what you provide us. Then we can help you kind of guide you give you a package of accounts that would be best fit for what you're trying to do. And so, we continue to innovate, and I am so happy that I get to work with Jody, who, she's a leader, and she is, has started multiple companies, and she's just, a superpower. And I'm so glad to be able to work with her and learn with her along the way. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about 23 and 2024 and 2025, because we're already planning for 24. So I just can't talk about it.
So 23 is already in the bag. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have to keep our eyes open for the rest of the year and see what comes. All right. So we are already, God, time is flying, approaching an hour. So let me just try to get through some of these questions here, and get through quickly here. CK is asking if I don't know if you know this, Chris, but can Indian citizens, or those who are not U.S. residents, trade with your accounts in LeeLoo?
Yes. So we have many, many great people from India that trade with us. And I know you guys have, my understanding, you guys have a law that you can't do monthly subscriptions. And so what we do for our traders from India, we waive the reconnection fee. And so you have to make that manually each month. But now with the one-time PA fee, and let me announce it here, I just changed the price of the one-time PA fee. I think it was Friday. I was talking to Jody, and Jody and I are like so similar that scary. And I was like, Jody, let's have some fun. I'm doing a bunch of interviews, and I was coming to you guys, and I said, hey, let's drop the one-time PA fee from $250 to $150 for anyone that qualifies in the month of February. And so she was like, let's rock it. And so here we are. So right now, if you go buy an account, you should use the codes given here by you guys, and you qualify in February. If you decide to do the one-time PA fee, you don't have to. You can do the monthly, of course, and I highly recommend the monthly, actually, for many traders. But for some of you, that may be best to do the one-time fee. We're doing it for $150, and that's it. So, which is a great deal for any account size, no matter the 300K to the 25K. So, but yeah, so yes, you can trade from India.
Cool. All right. So I actually had a question that was sent to me before the meeting started about the PA fee, and noticing that you had adjusted the fee for February. Are there any thoughts around that possibly becoming permanent, or is this just going to be a temporary thing?
No, it's just, that's the thing. Jody and I, we'll wake up, and a lot of times we have the same thing in mind. Hey, let's go have some fun. Let's go change this. Let's go have a flash sale. Let's go have this. So February, we're just trying to focus on providing a lot of fun flash sales, a lot of fun stuff to the traders. So it's just for the month of February.
Cool. All right. So Phil has got a question, and I am not 100% sure if the number that you typed here is right, Phil. So if I get any aspect of this wrong, by all means, correct or clarify it. But he asked, What are the core values and mechanisms of LeeLoo which allow me to trust in the services for a long time commitment? Like, I'm not going to be aggressive at all, just always trading small and hopefully withdrawing. For example, and this is the part that I'm not 100% sure I'm understanding. We have the $125 USD one-time fee, but what if it takes a bit more time? I'm not quite sure what $125 one-time fee refers to, though. Do you know what that refers to, Chris? Am I just unaware? No, he meant 150. Okay, it was a typo. All right, he meant 150. So it's what we were just talking about. Okay, perfect. Cool.
Yeah, great. Okay, Phil, great question. And what are the core values and mechanisms of LeeLoo? Well, let's go to the founder, right? The founder is Jody, and Jody has a strong commitment to integrity, trust, and honesty. When she appointed me to the CEO position, she didn't do it just because, okay, this is great. But she said, okay, Chris, you shared those same values, right? And this is the values that LeeLoo has. So to work at LeeLoo and to be part of LeeLoo, right, we share those values. When we do hiring, we want a team of a support staff that has compassion, that have integrity and trust. And so everything we do, we try when we, first of all, we've never spent $1 on marketing, zero money on marketing. Okay. Regarding paying ads and all that kind of stuff. We've never done any of that. And there, by the way, nothing wrong with that, of course. Just saying our growth has been organic. It has been organic because it's been by word of mouth. It's because people like you, Phil, that you go and tell your friend, hey, I've been trading with them, and they're just stand up, Now, are they perfect? Absolutely not. But when it comes to a problem, they're going to listen. They're going to do the best they can within reason. Now, as you can imagine, we got people that, they go and trade and they blow their accounts or their PAs and they want us to, say, oh, I don't erase that day. Right. I'm like, no, that's not how trading works. But we stand with the traders, within reason, and we assist them. I tell traders, hey, if you ever want to talk to me, put attention to Chris. I'm making an effort to contact those traders and respond to their tickets or emails. But it's just that simple. We have a foundation that started with Jody, and it's with Jody. She's still very much active, behind the scenes. And so we focus on integrity, trust, and when you do that, we don't do it. We work really hard. I'm not saying we're perfect, but we try not to do anything that any kind of marketing that misleads people, to, say, oh, this is how much, we paid out last year. This is, look at all this fancy stuff that has really almost nothing to do with you. So we try to bring value to our accounts, bring value to our traders, and provide a system that, allows us to be here for the long term, be able to pay you. So hopefully I'll answer that question.
Awesome. So question from Catherine. I'll take this one actually, because I think there's a misunderstanding of what this is, Catherine, but you're asking if Teton order routing can be used. Teton order routing is for cash accounts, for a real brokerage account that would not have anything to do with evaluations. They're not live. They're not real. They're not in the market. This is a sim, but assuming you get to a funded account, it's a sim that you are allowed to share in the profits from. So Teton is not going to be relevant to any evaluator. And that's true of any company. It has nothing to do with LeeLoo. It's just Teton is not going to have anything to do with anything unless you're trading a cash account at a live brokerage. Let's see. Okay. Okay, he was just explaining trailing drawdown. Okay. Joe asked about TRG. I won't make this a long one. I'll just basically say you can go to our website and take a look. But TRG Trading Research Group, we're an educational group. By traders, for traders, of traders, etc. We are very niche in the world of trading because we focus on order flow, and order flow is one of the most niche areas of trading because, frankly, it's hard. It's hard work. and people are drawn to easy, and technical analysis is usually where everybody goes because it looks easy. It's, oh, this line crosses that line, you do this. And unfortunately, it doesn't work. Once upon a time, there was some potential edge to be had from that. But these days we have much better information available, and we can see the actual supply and demand in the market in real time, live. So this is the benefit to trading futures and specifically looking at order flow. So if you don't know anything about order flow, or you would like to dive in deep to some really serious stuff, you can do it for free. Go to tradingresearchgroup.com, and our online courses are completely free, and they will give you all the foundational stuff you need, really true, and nothing, no fluff, nothing you don't need. These courses are remarkably compact. People think that there has to be a lot more to it. And you can actually dramatically simplify trading if you just understand what to look for and when. So, and then of course we've got paid membership options if you want to really go deep and get involved in the community and start to really practice and hone your edge and develop your playbook of setups, etc. Let's see. Bauer is asking, what are you looking? Actually, let me read it first. Most trader. Okay. So what are you looking for in your funded traders? For those who trade the performance accounts, what are the traits you're looking for, and what are the perspectives for such a trader to stick with you guys for a long time? It sort of actually ties into the core values thing to a large degree. I don't know. Would you say there's anything different about specifically the funded traders, or is it pretty much the same as what you were just talking about a moment ago to Phil?
Yeah, I would just add this, when you think about this, when you go to a performance account and you want to be here for the long term, right? Being a gambler is not the answer. So very few try to do that, right? And obviously, majority of them, 99%, it doesn't work out. And so don't be a gambler. Have your plan, trade your plan. That's it.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Joe is asking about performance accounts. If you're in a funded account, and let's say you got 10K profit and then you blow up, do you still get any of that profit or a percentage of it, or does it all just vaporize? What happens?
Well, I think he kind of answered the question. If you blow it up, you blow it up. So yeah, if you reach the trailing drawdown, then yeah, that's it.
And that's because in a funded account, it stops trailing once you're over a certain point, right?
Yeah, and just to again clarify, it's not a funded account. So I know you guys.
Yeah, wrong terminology. Apologies.
Right. Yeah, but just we just want to be sure we don't mislead the trader.
Yep.
Not you. I'm just saying that the language, but
100% right.
Yeah. So when you're on a performance account, let's say that you made $10,000 on the 50K account. Your max drawdown now is at 50,100. So for you to lose that account, your account balance has to reach 50,100. So if you get to that 50,100, then yeah, you're done.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a useful point of clarification here, as you may not be familiar with how these work, Joe. But when you're in the performance account and you're trading, once you're above a profit buffer, and once you're above that 50,100 point, if you're in a 50K account, you basically have no rules. So there's no way you can blow anything up. You can't blow up. If you're 10K in profit, by definition, you can't blow up unless you lose the whole 10K.
Or there's one other way, I guess. Once you go to performance accounts, now we have two rules. Don't meet your max drawdown or your trend drawdown, and don't hold more than 3 micros at the close of the market.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So if you were to hold, let's say, 3 full contracts or 1 full contract at the close of the market, right? There's a team that reviews that, and they'll get in touch with you. Now, something that we do at LeeLoo, it's superpower. It's called common sense. So if we see that, this was a clear mistake, this is your first time doing it, there's a very high chance that we're going to give you a pass on it if we're not copying you. If we are copying you, then we get penalized. And so therefore, we there's no kind of mercy there. We close it. But if we're not copying you, Then, we look at, is this your first time? Most likely it was a mistake. Then we give some grace and mercy there. But of course, we still close it. But I think the last 3 times has happened to 3 different individuals. It was the first time we were not copying them. We let them keep it. We just kind of gave them a warning.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm not quite sure how to say your name. I will try. I'm probably going to mangle it. Apologies. Theorith. I probably got that horribly wrong, but sorry about that. They are asking if the bundle promo, does it apply to the larger accounts like the 150K? I'm not sure quite what you mean by the bundle promo. There are these LB bundle accounts. Do you want to maybe real quickly talk about these?
Real quick. I don't think they're on sale right now. But you can see here they're all available for all the sizes here. So if you buy any of those at that price, you're going to get 5 of those bundles, and then only 1 of the bundles can qualify. And so just look at it as you have 5 chances to qualify within each bundle. And if you qualify any of them, the other ones are no good anymore. They'll be deleted. It's a great value. You say if you tend to try to qualify in 30 days, they're only good for 30 days. They don't rebill. And if your goal is to try to qualify in 30 days and you tend to buy resets, this is a phenomenal deal. You save so much money with the value you're getting here. So, but I don't think we have any current promos. And I think the promo we're doing with you guys, I don't think it has the LB accounts. I don't think so, but I can't remember.
Yeah, there is our usual promo code that gives a discount on anything. Is that right? I forget.
Anything except for the LeeLoo Express.
Except the Express. That's right. Okay, cool. So if that's real quick here, let me let's see here. Can I open up another? Yes, I can. So just since we're on the topic here, anybody who wants to say, what is it, 15%, I think? Is that right, Chris?
Gosh, I'm trying to remember. I let's say 15%. Yeah.
I think it was 15% was the default. So if you want to use the code LeeLoo Deal for anything on LeeLoo's website except for the Express eval, that will save you a 15%. We're also going to have a specific promotion as soon as we get through these questions. So sit tight, don't jump on anything with that code right now because you might like what we're going to be presenting. But just so you all know, and it's recorded for posterity, posterity. You can always use LeeLoo Deal to get a savings, even if there's no current sale or deal running or anything like that. So, okay, let's go back to the chat here to try to get through this because, wow, you guys have been quite active, more than I expected.
Yeah, I can't keep up with the questions. Yeah. So I'm glad you are.
Yeah, let's see. Question for Chris. Oh boy, another name. I can't attempt this one. I'm just going to go with your initials, AO. Sorry, there's no way I'm going to get your name even remotely right. So I'm just not going to try. That'll just be bad. Question for Chris. Trading comes with a lot of heartbreak and pain. And obviously when a trader blows up an evaluation account or a performance account, they might want to blame LeeLoo, get angry because of their frustration. How are you able to handle when sometimes a trader gets offensive? That's an interesting.
Great question. So actually, I love this question because we, again, use common sense. If a trader comes back, right, there's different stages. Hey, you guys, this is crazy. This is a scam. What happened? Well, I was in this trade and then, the market moved and I was 12 contracts in and I blew my account. I'm like, okay, that's what happened. So then they come back and they say, guys, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. And we're good, right? We understand that, no problem. Where it becomes a problem is if you use any language towards the staff, inappropriate language towards the staff, send any inappropriate images, anything like that. My team will send it straight to me and I will deal with you. And I'll look at the scenario. But if you attack any of our staff with language or anything like that, we tell you, hey, go kick it. There's some other companies out there. Go have fun, but not here. So we protect our team. They're extremely valuable. And so, but now common sense stuff, like normal frustration. We understand that, we're used to that, and we're traders ourselves. So trust us, we know what that frustration looks like. So that should answer that question.
Cool. Okay, let's see here. So real quick, Daniel, I'm gonna mention one thing, because you're comparing LeeLoo versus other companies and so forth. And the fact is that different things, and Chris touched on this earlier, different things are going to be important, more important or less important to different people at different times, even. Depending on what you're doing. One company that has a cheaper monthly cost, a carry cost for you, is going to be more appealing than another company that maybe has a higher carry cost but has more preferential payout terms or structures, or whatever. It's very, very, very variable. And it just isn't as simple as, fastest withdrawal is always the best, or cheapest price is always the best, or the fewest rules is always the best. There's no one always the best. So, we have a whole website, in fact, that we put together to attempt to objectively measure these comparisons. In fact, here, I might as well just go there. This is a web browser. I can do that. So, if you guys want to check out this, you can take a look at maketix.com. And specifically, we've got the evaluating table that just does and it makes an attempt at objectifying this, which is not easy because, again, different things are going to be most important to different people at different times. So this is a bit subjective, but it's about as objective as we could manage to make it. So, take a look, check it out, compare. And if you spot anything on here that somebody has updated, because this is all manual, I go in and have to update this stuff, and things change fast in this industry. So if you spot something on here that says, oh no, this company has changed that rule, or whatever, then let me know, reach out to me and I can update the site. But there it is for you, MakeTix. If you want to be able to sort of try to do an apples to apples comparison of all these various companies and figure out what's the most important thing to you, because it's very individual. Let's keep on trucking here. Whoops, I skipped over there we are. All right. So again, AO is asking, in the 50K account, you can only withdraw anything in excess of $2,600 profit. But is there a 50-50 profit split option available if I want to withdraw the $2,600 profit that I've made, i.e. closing the account? I'm not 100% sure I'm interpreting that correctly. Does that make sense to you, Lee? Chris, or Lee, for that matter.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for that question. There's so many. I was going through.
It was at 9:29 a.m. If that's helpful.
Yeah, this makes sense to me because there's the threshold. If we're talking 50K, there's the 2,600 threshold beyond which you can make withdrawals. And as I recall from a PA agreement, that becomes available at different splits if you were to close the account, and it's time related. I think I'm on the right lines there, Chris.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So that's all. There's not a set number on that. So here's an example. After 180 trading days, then you can close the account. Okay. With the proper numbers, the 90, after you get the 90 and all that kind of stuff. What we try to do, again, is common sense. Let's say, a matter of fact, I think this happened late last year, 22. We had a trader that had been trading this account for I think it was 80 or 90 days, doing well. And unfortunately, because of health reasons, and he sent us all this information, he was not going to be able to trade anymore. And, he just kindly asked, hey, is there anything we can do? And so, again, we review each one case by case. And in his case, we just went ahead and, gave him if he had traded 180 days. So, but it does give us the opportunity, depending on scenarios and situations. If it's sooner than 180 days, we may do a different percentages at that point. So it just kind of depends. But we look at everyone case by case, what's going on, where you are, how many days, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. That's nice. You guys are really available and involved. I've run evals and been funded with other companies where try to reach anyone to ask anything or talk about anything that isn't just boilerplate from their website is impossible. So certainly appreciate how accessible and involved you guys are.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see. I skipped over by mistake. Here we go. So Joe was asking, once you on the back to the weekly accounts, once it switches from weekly to monthly, do you keep the profits from the weekly? I'm assuming that those carry over into the monthly account. You're just on a different payout schedule now, right?
Yeah. So the goal here, and again, I have to go and revisit because I'm trying to do it based on memory. Is the goal here is, once you hit the 10,000, you would have, gotten everything out. Then we'll move everything over. Now, if you had a balance, let's say that you had an additional $2,000 in there, then I have to see what we decided to do. Like I said, there's such new accounts that were open, so we haven't gotten to that situation. So we'll use what's will probably fair. I think we're saying that we'll create a new account, but if you have something in there, we'll probably move that over. But we'll probably do that case by case, just because we wanted to offer this, get some see how it does, see how the traders respond, make adjustments if we needed to. And so, but yeah, probably if you had, profits in there, we don't want to just get rid of them. So we'll probably move those over in that case.
Okay, cool. Maria was asking if the 10K withdrawal mark, is that per account or per trader ID?
Yeah, good question. So the WK is per each WK. So you can have up to 10,000 per each WK account, weekly.
Got it. So it is per account, not per trader. Cool. Right. Awesome. Let's see.
But I think Maria might not be thinking about the weekly accounts, though.
Oh, that's a good point of clarification, Maria. Are you talking about the regular PA accounts or the weeklies? She is talking about the weeklies. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
While we're asking, what is it on the not weeklies? Is it by account or is it by ID?
On payouts?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm trying to understand your question. So if you have let's say 3 performance accounts and you have different balances in those accounts, those are all individually, you request a payout individually to that account.
So the payouts are per account, not per trader. So if I have 10 accounts, I can get max payout on all 10 accounts if I'm that good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what do you mean by max payout?
Whatever the no split limit threshold is.
Oh, you talking about, okay. I'm sorry?
Like the first, whatever it is, 10K, 12.5K, whatever.
Oh, got it. Okay, good. I just want to be sure we're on the same page here. Okay, yeah. So on the 12,500 is per trader.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was asking.
Okay.
All
right, good. I just want to be sure we're answering our question, answering the correct, same questions. So good. Yeah.
Okay.
That is per Rhythmic ID. Traders only have to have one Rhythmic ID, so it's really per trader. And so, but you can request multiple payouts from each account individually. So that, just to clear that up. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Maria's question was specifically about the 10K threshold before moving to monthly payouts. And that is per account, not per trader.
Correct. The WK. Yes.
Right. Cool. Okay. So hopefully we got that answered for you, Maria. If not, let us know. Okay. Let's see. Chetta was asking, are you going to bring back the multiple trading competitions more often?
I'm trying to think if he means the multiple.
Did you mean the team based?
Like the team based? Yeah. I'll get some clarification on that.
Yeah, clarify what you're asking exactly. What the competition you're asking about is there, Chetta, and we will answer it. Chetta also had a second question right after that, which was if you buy multiple bundles, do you have to make sure to pass one of each of the bundle? For example, I buy two bundles and I pass LB 101 and LB 102 and only make the minimum trades. Do I pass 2 or 1?
Yeah, I think I know what they're asking. What's her name?
Chetta?
Chetta. Okay, great question. So, yes, I'm working right now with our team to make that easier because I realize it is challenging. If you buy multiple bundles, right? Like right now, if you were to go buy 3 bundles, you have 15 accounts, and you don't know unless you write it down, so 5, 5, 5, you got 15, and you don't know unless you write it down or don't keep up with it very closely. It is challenging to know, okay, this first 5 are part of this bundle, the next 5 is part of this other bundle, and those other 5 are part of this bundle. So I think the question is, what you want to avoid doing is trading, for example, 2 of the same bundle and qualify those 2, because only one can qualify within the bundle. So, for example, if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want to trade account 1, and then the next account you want to trade is the next bundle, which is 6, right?
Trade one account at a time per bundle.
Per bundle. And so I think he's asking, like, do we need to be sure we do that? And the answer is yes. Do not, try to confuse those. And I'm trying to work with our team to help be able to get those, without the trader having to write notes down, how to distinguish those in different bundles. So we're working on that.
Cool. All right. Hopefully that answered that question, Chetta. If not, again, throw it in the chat and we'll try to clarify that. Okay, here's one I can take again. Daniel's asking, I know it can be quite involved answer, but for a new trader, what would you say is the best way to start developing an edge? Well, I mean, yes, I'm a little bit biased here, but I would say absolutely go check out Trading Research Group. It's what we do. We're all about, developing a real, measurable, statistically based edge in the markets, and then just constantly working at improving our ability to execute that edge, because those are 2 different things. You got to have the edge, but then you've got to work at getting good at executing that edge. Because I can right now hand you an 80 to 90% edge, and you're not going to be able to trade it because you don't know what you're doing with it yet. And so your ability to execute is where, practice and study and like any learned skill, if you want to be I always use the music example because I'm a musician. If you want to become a concert pianist, you can have the best teacher in the world sit with you for a weekend and show you how to play professionally, professional level piano, and you're not going to be any good. You're going to have to work really hard at it to get good at that skill. And trading is no different. Well, actually, I think trading is worse because it also involves an emotional components and psychological components that most other learned skills don't. When you screw up in trading, it can cost you dearly. Whereas you screw up playing golf, you lose the game or whatever. It's not really that bad, but yeah. So yeah, come see us at TRG, and we can certainly help you to find and hone your edge. Okay, let's see here. Joe was asking about software. So what software does TRG recommend for trading? We like to say that we are platform agnostic. And by that, we mean we don't really care. We're not, generally beating people up over, you must use this program because we say so. Generally speaking, as long as it is a professional order flow platform that has, all the things an order flow trader needs, has a DOM, has footprint charts, has volume at price, volume delta, all of that stuff. As long as it's got the core things that are necessary, then you can use it. That being said, most of us within TRG use Sierra Chart. It is a phenomenal platform, phenomenal toolkit, but it has quite a learning curve. I always kind of compare it to like Photoshop. You don't just open it and presto, it spits out a bunch of pre-built nice stuff that's ready to use. But if you spend the time to learn the platform and learn the tools and get comfortable with how it works, you can build anything with it. You can make it do whatever you want, much like Photoshop. You can do anything with that program if you just take the time to learn it. So and Sierra Chart is also a really good bang for the buck. It's compared to some other platforms, and for what you get, it's very reasonably priced. It is a subscription model. It's not just a pay once, which is obviously really required for a company who's going to be needing to constantly update and improve and add to their software platform. You can't really do that on a flat fee. So it's reasonably affordable and a fantastic platform. So
I'm going to jump in on this, JVC, because I agree with everything you just said, but it's misleading. I trade on Sierra Chart for footprints. I use Jigsaw to execute and copy through NinjaTrader all at the same time. And we have a large number of people that do other things besides Sierra Chart. So Sierra Chart's a great platform. Like I said, I agree with everything you said, but I think you missed that there are other platforms that, we don't really care. My opinion as a trader with 50 years of experience is any good trader can trade well on any decent platform.
Yep. You're absolutely right. I totally forgot to mention that we do have quite a few people in TRG who just like to execute on Jigsaw. Its DOM has some specific features that are really good for fast scalping by mouse. If that's your thing, Jigsaw's got some really nice tools built around doing that. So there are a lot of different ways to do it. No one is the only way. Find what works for you, but the tools within TRG that are most used are going to be Sierra Chart, Jigsaw, or NinjaTrader. But Ninja really just for sort of traditional chart candlesticks, that kind of thing. Anything order flow based is going to be pretty much Jigsaw or Sierra for most of us. Let's see. We talked about that. Let's see. Oh, so John Doe has mentioned one of the big traps that a lot of traders fall into. I won't diverge onto this too much. We talk about this within TRG from time to time, but you can't ignore big runners in trading, right? Or you have to scale into the winning trades. You can't go into trading with the mindset that I'm going to get runners. I'm going to let my profits run. I'm going to cut my losers and let my profits run. It's not that simple. That sounds good. That's an easy little flippant trading adage to throw out there. Well, you just have to let your profits run and keep your losers small. But in real trading, there's a lot more to it than just that. But if you want to dive deep into that, by all means, again, come see us at TRG and check out the free courses and get in the community. And there's a lot of discussion around stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Some people wanting end of day drawdown options. We talked about that. Let's see. Would LeeLoo, this is from Theorith again, would LeeLoo consider having a static drawdown for a paid account? For example, the 50K account has a trailing drawdown of 2,500. It would be great to apply the same amount of drawdown for a static drawdown for a paid account.
Yeah, good question.
Well, it is static once you're up over the account balance.
Right. But we are testing different things right now. So I would just say, we could possibly come out with something like that so pretty much like the Glide with a larger static drawdown.
I definitely want to vote for that one, so I'm going to interrupt and vote for that one. A larger static drawdown is a really good idea. Yeah. Not huge, but just 625 is tricky.
It is tight.
Yeah,
that is true. But that can be a really good exercise for the trader to not have your
like you mentioned earlier, and I'd like to hit on that. You said if you're a good trader, right, you can trade anywhere, right, any platform.
Mm-hmm.
Now the accounts are a little different, right? I've tried all the accounts, and there are some accounts that I like better than others, but that's me. Just because I like one's better than another doesn't make that account a better account. It makes it better for me. So, but we've had I have friends that did the Glide, and all those good, gosh, I almost said a bad word. Those guys did phenomenal on the Glide, And I'm like, oh, why could I do the glide? And the reason is because my strategy, and when I started doing it, I was not doing micros. I wanted to go a little bigger. And so when you do a little bigger on a 625 static, you're not going to tend to do very well. You're going to get in trouble really quick. And so my friends did great. And so it just depends on your strategy, depends on you. So that's the case on many accounts. So just kind of to head up what you were saying before, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where these tight drawdown accounts like that, it can potentially be beneficial actually to get you to understand the power of micros. If you're that, and it's a very common thing for traders to think like, I don't want to screw around with micros. The commissions are too high. I want to make more money and then go the minis and trade big. And that's a fast recipe for blowing up if you have that kind of thinking.
Absolutely.
So. Cool. All right. So we got links to TRG. I'm sure you guys are already keeping an eye on what Apex is doing, but there's some folks in there suggesting you try to beat them at their game.
And look, I appreciate that's it. You know, I get emails all the time like, hey, you know, this other company's doing this. Will you do this? That tells me, gosh, they care so much about LeeLoo. They want to be with us so bad that they're like, you know, saying, hey, will you do this, what this other's doing? Because we'd rather be with you. So I appreciate that. I really do. So thank you for that.
Just some chat back and forth.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the questions. There's some, but I get
here we go.
Keep getting messed up here in the chat.
Yeah, so here's one. Joe's asking, do you or will you offer referral credits? I guess like a referral program? You guys have one, don't you?
Yeah. Like an affiliate program.
Is that what you're referring to, Joe? Yes. So yeah.
Yep. We got one.
You guys have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And then any questions about that? I don't want to waste time here. Just feel free to email us directly at support@LeeLooTrading.com. We'll be able to happy answer those questions for you.
Cool. All right. Maria also had a question about the transition from existing PA accounts to the lifetime $150 fee. Is there a way to do that if you've got an account that was not on lifetime?
Yes. Yeah. So what I decided to do was just to, again, use common sense and be, as fair, is if you got a monthly subscription and you're paying, $88 a month, and you're in a place where you say, you know what, I'll benefit more by a one-time fee, then you can make that switch. We're allowing you to make that switch. Just contact us, support@LeeLooTrading.com. We'll tell you there's some steps you got to follow, because it's, we don't want you to pay today and if your account doesn't rebill until 2 weeks from now. So we'll tell you when to do it, how to do it, and we'll waive any reconnection fees for that. So yes, you can definitely do that.
Cool. So Alvaro is throwing in another vote for shorter time frames between withdrawals, just to keep them motivated and so forth. I would suggest, just throw this out here for you to consider, Alvaro, to not, unless you're at the point where you're already in a performance account and you're regularly getting your monthly withdrawals, but you're just finding that, for my cash flow, it would be nice to not have to wait a month for the one lump sum. It'd be easier to smooth things out if I got it every week. But if you're not already at that point where you are in the performance account, getting withdrawals, trading consistently, you have your edge, etc., I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think you're starting from the wrong side of the equation. Focus on developing your edge. And once it's really a problem that, I'm only getting paid monthly, I'd like to get paid weekly, then there's something to consider there. But until then, I wouldn't sweat it too much. Let's see. Oh yeah. Joe's asking about, do you have an account for just micros? And I see other people answered this for you, but I will throw my weight behind what they're saying as well, is that, you can trade micros in anything. And in fact, I think it's, depending on your style, it can be a really good idea. Certainly if you're newer to this whole game and you're trying to find your edge and figure out what you're doing and so forth, definitely trade micros, stay small, and make your first goal just, can I keep this evaluation alive? Can I go a month without blowing it up? And that sounds silly. It's like, well, come on. You're just keeping it alive with a micro, but you'd be amazed how fast people can blow up these accounts, even with just a micro. So, it depends on where you're at, but yeah, you can trade micros in anything. So, let's see, Theoreth again. For TRG, what is your success rate of your strategies if assuming traders execute based on the rules? Well, there's no real way to answer that because this is not mechanical rules-based indicator style. When this crosses this, you do this, and you have a 4-to-1 R to R and a 3-point take profit and a 12-point stop loss. It's not like that. This is reading the order flow. And I mentioned earlier, I'm a musician, so I always see this in terms of music, but the way I describe order flow, and this is when I first discovered order flow, this is what jumped out to me about it is order flow is like learning to read music. And it's similarly difficult. In fact, it is something that requires a lot of work. It's not just a super easy thing I could explain to anyone in 5 minutes. But if you can read order flow, you can sight read the market, much like a really well-trained musician who can sight read music can read anything. You just plop a piece of music down in front of them and boom, they can play it. Order flow is a lot like that. You're learning to sight read the market. And that means at any given moment, buyers are here, sellers are here, some aggressives are here, passives are there. People are doing different things, and you can see and understand what's going on and who's doing what and who's motivated where, and that's going to change what you're going to do. Conditions right now might tell me that, hey, right now is good to go for a couple tick scalps because that is what is safe. That is what is sensible. Other times I know I've got a statistical setup that I'm playing, and I know that it happens with a 92% frequency. And so I'm going to play those probabilities, and I'm card counting. That's another example we use a lot. And you'll notice if you go to the Make Ticks website is based around the idea of cards and card counting. Where's our cards? There they are. So that's why we have the card motif here. You can stack the deck in your favor. And so the idea of blackjack card counting to give you a statistical edge, then you just have to stay in it long enough to let that edge play out. There's a lot to that, but it's not as simple as just being 100% mechanical all the time and just a trading robot. You have to understand what you're seeing.
Let me add a quick comment to that, JVC.
Please.
Again, agreeing with everything you said and completely concur, but we have a variety of styles. There's scalpers in TRG, and there's structural swing traders in TRG, and we're looking at the same information. Our execution and our tactics might be different, but so that makes that question really hard to answer. I mean, I have a ridiculously high win rate, and I've been profitable for 45 years. But I'm not teaching what I do. I show what I do, but that's not necessarily something that everyone else should do. We're not teaching, here's the strategy we teach in TRG. So I just wanted to clarify that and agree with everything you said before that.
Yep. Well put. Okay, let's see here. Moving on. If you trade more contracts than allowed, does the account get blown out? I think you guys are set up to where Rhythmic will not allow trading beyond the allowed account size. Is that right, Chris?
Correct. So unless you're talking about holding out the close to the market,
right?
On a performance account. So on a practice account, you can hold the max number. Not that I would suggest that, but the max number of contracts you're allowed to trade. But on the performance account, you can only hold up to 3 micros at the close of the market. Now, If you're talking about on a regular trade and you're clicking and you're averaging in or whatever, or you accidentally click the wrong number and you can only trade 12 and you try to trade 14, it won't let you. So it will reject the order. So it won't. You're good to go. Nothing will happen then.
You're protected from that, which is nice, because I know it didn't in other companies anyway. It wasn't always that way, and you could just one extra click and boom, Bye-bye. So cool. Let's see. Is there a way that LeeLoo can get set? I guess can make getting set up earlier. I'm not quite sure. Maybe reach out to LeeLoo support if there's something you're having difficulty getting set up with. I'm sure they can help get you squared away there, Joe. Let's see. If you are in a 50K account, what's the maximum payout?
Well, if our regular maximum payout, you mean like for the first 4 months? So the first 4 months, there's a minimum and a max, and after that, you would get a payout for a little as much as you want that you have eligible to request. So the exact numbers, I don't keep them in my head, but if you go to support, right on the top right, and you go to our knowledge base, the middle button there. I do this myself. Scroll down a little bit. You can type in investor, but it's right there, section F, Foxtrot, number 3, the investor. And if you scroll down, there's a table there, and that table will give you the time. There's another table, sorry, right there. And that table will tell you the first 4 months, the minimum and the max. And then after the 4th month, you can request as little as much as you want, as long as you keep the required balance threshold. So there's that.
There you go. And I'm going to throw the link to that page.
Yep. Feel free to, you always email us. So just to save time, because I do want to be sensitive with you guys, for any specific questions like this, shoot us a ticket. We got people working right now, actually. We're I don't know if we're the only company that has people working Saturdays and Sundays, but we work every day around the clock. And so shoot us a ticket. We'll love to answer those kind of questions that, we can easily help you out on a ticket.
Cool. So we did get some follow-up, by the way, from Chetta regarding the question about competitions. They were asking about individual static and trailing drawdown competitions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. There was a time we did both. We just don't know. Yeah. I'm sure we'll be open to doing, mixing it around, but we based on feedback, the traders love the trailing drawdown account compared to the static for the competition. And that's because on the competition, on the static, you had some people run away with such big numbers that nobody else felt like they can catch up with. So the drawdown just made it easier to keep everybody more level. So
it's easier to get lucky, I guess, and just YOLO.
Yeah, right. Just go in max contracts.
Catch a lucky move,
and takes off from there. So so for the competition purposes, we may try to just keep it a trailing, but we're open. Just like always want to try new things, or I try things again. So it might.
Cool. So I see, James, I guess you were having trouble signing up with the free course. I've had people signing up even as early as this morning, just in the last half hour while we've been sitting here. I see them coming through. So it seems to be working, but if you're having trouble, reach out to me. You can.
JBC, I can see he's got access to the courses.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fantastic. Sounds like you're good. Excellent. All right. Let's see. I think we're just about caught up. Oh, one more. Okay, a new one came in. What's the safety balance for 25K for challenge and PA accounts? I'm going to suggest that you go take a look at their website. Pretty sure that is all spelled out here in the knowledge base. So I'm sure you can find your answers in there.
Yep. Or shoot us an email. We'd love to interact with you through our ticket system and help you answer that question, any other questions you may have.
Perfect. Let's see. So I'm not sure if you were being humorous, Joe, but in a 50K account, I can have it for 10 years and withdraw 500K. I'm not quite sure if you're being funny or
JVC, I think that's a follow-up to what's the max withdrawal question, because there is something in the contract about the limit. Yeah. And Chris has answered this on a previous AMA. Whatever size account you have, that's the max withdrawal that they're obligated for. Am I saying that correctly?
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So, two things. So we had an issue in the past with a gambler, that again took advantage of the fact that we want to have less rules and use more common sense, right? And so to protect us, we put in the contract, which I'm glad you brought up, right, that we could cap you at the account balance, at your highest account balance, right? We've only done that for 0.01% of traders. So, one. So, in other words, if you're trading in a system, if you have your account for, I think he said 50 years, and you're growing your account and you're trading your account, whatever, then think about it. If we are copying you, right, why would we want to stop, right? So now, if you're a gambler, you can never copy a gambler. If you go gamble, we're never going to offer you the chance to go to a live account. Okay, because we do reach out to traders from time to time and say, hey, we'd be interested to go to a live account, but really the copying is just a lot better for us. And if we're copying you, if you gamble, we're never going to be able to copy you. So, and if you tend to gamble, then we may apply that contract and say, okay, you know what? Okay, here, yeah, you made your money, great. Go on. So, because it's just that's not what the point is. Now we still pay out, right? We do all that, but we just had to put that in there to protect ourselves from people that may come and trying to gamble and all that kind of stuff to take advantage of a loophole.
Yep. All right, cool. So we got one last question. We're all caught up from Joe. I'm going to answer that question real quick. And Chris, if you could go take a look through the chat, see who you want to award with a free evaluation account. For your question, Joe, what's the definition of copying? These companies have the ability, they don't have to do this, they don't necessarily do this, but they have the ability to clone your trading to their own live accounts. So if you have demonstrated, this is sort of the part that makes them kind of ish, sort of like a prop firm. It's still not, but the idea is that if you have demonstrated consistency in your trading and they can see your activity and see that, like Chris was just saying, you're not a gambler, you have a sensible edge and you're good at risk management and you've proven your consistency, et cetera, they can turn on the ability to copy your trading into their own accounts. And so you're essentially trading, quote unquote, their money in that way. So they don't just automatically do this. It's not, I passed the eval, now they're going to copy my trades, because most people, when they get into a performance account, are going to start getting stupid and do crazy things and blow it up, because we're human and that's what we tend to do. But if you've demonstrated and proved out that consistency, they can turn that on.
Just to be clear, they're not copying your strategy. They're copying your executions, Joe. They wouldn't know what your strategy is. They wouldn't see that part, obviously.
It's just your order comes in and it goes to their account. That's it. They don't know why you placed that order, just that you did. Yeah. So does that answer your question? Yeah, they're not going to know any idea about why you took the trades you did. It's just going to replicate your orders. It's replicate really is maybe a better way to put it. Let's see. Tim is asking, can you make a dashboard that shows both the account number and invoice number? Sounds like maybe you want to contact support and suggest an improvement.
We already have that, actually. If you go to your end member area, you can see your accounts and your invoice right there.
Cool. Okay. So you just mean like the payment history. Is that what we're talking about, I guess?
I don't know if it's called payment. I think it's called your subscriptions, even though it may not be a subscription. It's the very first page when you log into a member, your a member. It's
not the dashboard.
Yeah, it's a dashboard, and there's a list of your accounts with your account number and the invoice right next to it. If your performance account doesn't have the invoice, shoot us a quick email. We just press refresh and it will show up then. So if you don't see your invoice next to your account number, shoot us a quick email.
Cool. He's talking about in Rhythmic, a dashboard in Rhythmic. Rhythmic, frankly, you can customize it any which way you want. And I would recommend doing that. And in fact, I've got custom rhythmic layouts that I then save because they allow you to save a settings file. So I've got one saved for LeeLoo and one saved for Bulenox and one saved for Apex. And, I've got each company. It's actually all the same one. I just clone it for each company each time. So, I've got my dashboard laid out exactly how I want to see it with all the things I want to see. So recommend spending some time getting really familiar with all the little hidden menus in Rhythmic RTrader Pro. It's not the most intuitive thing. A lot of things are sort of hidden and you have to right click stuff to find it and things, but it's there. So yeah, Brent has got a question about, he really likes the mobile app. And actually, I think Daniel is saying something similar here. Brent was wondering, are there going to be any website updates to have the same information that's visible on the app on the actual website?
We're working, let me see, what am I allowed to say? So on the app, I'm really excited. We're working on some stuff right now that I think a lot of you guys are going to like. And then regarding the website, that also, it's a combination of things, right? So we, our IT team, they were working today, Saturday. And so they remind me, hey, I'm working on Saturday. I'm like, yes, thank you.
You slave driver, Chris. You slave driver.
They're like, we're working around the clock. So we're working on so many things, like I said. And so it's just like, it just takes time, right, to develop and create and test and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as me thinking it is, because I'm not an engineer. I'm not a computer software systems engineer and all that kind of stuff. So in my head, it's like, oh, it's just, why just do that real quick, right? And it's not. And so they remind me often about it. And so they're working endlessly on different things that I think is going to be really exciting for you guys. We hope to be able to provide more stuff, including on our website. So hopefully we'll have something you'll be happy with.
Cool. Watch this space. We will keep an eye on the app development. It is nice to have, even in its current early incarnation. It can be very useful. So it's good to have it.
Yes.
Let's see. Brent also had asked me earlier, are there ever any plans or any discussions about changing the payout split threshold, the no split threshold? We've seen some other companies changing the amount that the trader can get up to the split amount. Yeah.
And so to clarify, I hate to use the word split, because, if we don't copy
profit share, maybe.
Yeah. If we don't copy you, we're not getting anything, because it's paper money. Right. But I would say this, we're always looking for different things, and that's something we've talked about. So, we could potentially see something there.
Okay. Watch this space. So a question that just landed from where is the weekly accounts? Are they still there on the website?
No, I just took them down because a lot of the other accounts we came up with, they're for special occasions or special events, right? Just because they bring so much value, right? So we want to be sure that we keep them for special events. It's different special stuff. So that's why if you ever see them available, you don't want to wait. If that's what you've been looking for, you want to take advantage of that. So, and then I did select so far I got one winner for the question. But
fantastic. Drum roll, please.
Yeah. Brent Hilburn. I am the worst at reading names. It could be like the most basic name. I will mess it up. So Brent Hilburn, he's asked several questions, but what future products does LeeLoo plan to deliver in the marketplace, and what changes do you see in 2023 in Trader? So I picked that one because I thought that was very optimistic, looking forward and excited. So I picked that question to be the winner to get a free LeeLoo Express.
Awesome.
So yeah. Great job, Brent.
All right. So, Brent, you're going to get one of these babies, a LeeLoo Express 100K. Now, we've got several more. Chris had said he was going to have 5 to give away. So how do you want to do the other 4?
Yeah. So, I can let you guys. Usually I ask a question and they'll answer. So we can do real quick. I don't know how much time we have, so I want to be sensitive to that. But
we're 10 minutes from the 2-hour mark. Let's cut it off for sure at 2 hours.
Okay, we got it. So we can do it real quick here. So what is a program Okay, so this is for the listeners, the traders. Okay, so be ready to rock.
Get your fingers on the keyboard now. Get ready.
Yeah. What is a program that TRG offers? What is something they offer? What is something that TRG offers? And then I'll let you guys get sure that's correct. And
the first response was he said Tick Master, and I know you meant Tick Maker. That's okay. I'll allow it. So Daniel, Tick Maker course, correct? That is our free online course, the Tick Maker courses. Okay.
So if you guys can write that down, get sure you keep up with that. So you got Daniel and we got Brent, and then and then I would say this. What accent does Lee have? Where's Lee's accent from? The origin of it.
Remember?
And if you can select the year of that accent, that'd be great. No, I'm kidding. Forget the year.
Yes. What's the vintage of the accent? Holy crap. The chat is, oh my God.
It looks like Catherine got it first, I think. Oh, wait a minute.
That just exploded. Holy crap.
That was, let's see. This is hard. So I think I got
David. David was on the keyboard. Wow. Way to go, David.
David. Okay. Yeah, that's what I see also. All right.
We have Brent, Daniel, David. All right, we got 2 left.
All right, Lee, do you guys want to do?
I did not know ahead of time what these questions were going to be. It just
this is just totally random. Do you guys want to do anything? Have a little fun?
Let's see. You got any questions you want to throw out there for the group, Lee or Jeff? What do you think?
I think we should do something aimed at our guests rather than our TRG members.
I agree with that. So let's have this one. If you're in TRG, you can't win this one. Let's do it for people that are not TRG members currently.
Okay.
Suggestion. I'm trying to think of a good question.
Okay, here's one to the guests. How long should it take for a trader to be consistently profitable?
There we go. Oh, that was quick. Gosh, they're quick. How do you write so quick?
Let's see.
I think Joe's the first one.
I can't even tell where it started. It's
Joe.
It started with Joe.
I think it's Joe. He said 2 years. Somehow.
Okay. Joe says 2 years. All right.
Joe, I am
correct or not. There's no correct answer. So
I'm gonna have to. I'm concerned here. These people, they must be the fastest traders in the world. They're just clicking so quick.
It's really just all bots. This is a room of bots. That's why.
That's great. All right.
I've got one wing throw out for everybody. So this will be fun.
Oh, do it.
Yeah. Why don't we say, what's the ticker symbol for the 30-year bond?
Ooh. Oh, wow. Boy.
How? I'm still trying to figure out the question.
I think Daniel Chavez got that first, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh, so we have 2 Daniels, don't we?
Yeah, we had 2. Yeah, we had 2 Daniels.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, hang on. I better put the names in here, or we'll get confused.
Yeah. You might want to put their full names on everyone, unless you can go back and confirm.
That's a good point.
To verify
you're right. Hang on, let's go back. Joe, where are you, Joe? There you are.
And I'll do one more fun one, and this one we'll do a free first month. So I always get in trouble when I say free. First month, 99% off, and the reason is because it's a subscription, so we got to charge like something. So
you can't charge 0.
Yeah, and it's annoying because I like to say free. So we'll say 99% off the first month. Okay, if you get the first one to get this correct. All right, and then we'll do this one on the. Tell you what, my favorite account that I really like is the Cruise 150K. Okay, so let's do it on that one. So if you write that down, so we don't forget. All right, so everybody's ready. All right,
go for it.
Here we go. Who is first name the owner of LeeLoo?
How? Wow. I swear he had that queued up before you asked the question. Holy crap.
I know. Daniel McKay. how is this happening?
I think he must be on a VPS in Montana.
Yeah, he's like, that's high speed fiber. That's funny. Yeah, so the owner is Jody, and I'm the CEO. So yeah, one of those, and so it goes to Daniel McKay. So great job on that, Daniel. Way to be there. And guys, Jody loves traders, loves you guys. So thank you so much. So yeah, thank you guys for having me.
So just to be clear, Daniel is going to get both the free express and the 99% off first month on a cruise.
Yeah, I guess because we didn't say you can.
Yeah, we didn't say couldn't.
That's true. We didn't specify. You're right. Okay, Daniel, this is your lucky day.
It is.
All right.
Hey, thank you so much, Chris. This was really wonderful for spending so much 2 hours with us. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, had a blast.
Real quick, everybody. To mention this, I had this over on my other screen. I want to drag it over. We have on the fly decided we're going to give everybody who is on this call, or I suppose technically anybody who watches the recording as well, for the rest of February, you can have one free class, any class on the TRG calendar. If you go to tradingresearchgroup.com/calendar, you will see calendar. I can type. And in fact, I will throw this into the chat as well.
I have to read this comment.
Be able to. Ignore it. You won't see this because I'm logged into my account. But anyway, you'll be able to go here and see. Here's our current. Actually, you'll see. Hang on. I should pop this open in an incognito, and then we'll see the actual full calendar. You're seeing my admin version. Here we go. So go here, and you've got the full calendar for the month, and you can pick any free class. Any class at all will be free. Just go ahead and use the code Feb free class. I think it's probably case sensitive. Not 100% sure on that, but do it all lowercase just to be safe. And you can get any class for free. I see a question, by the way. Who is Darren? So Darren is one of the earliest TRG members. He actually predates me because he was in the original workshop that led to the creation of TRG. And he is a pharmacist by trade, pharmacist by day, trader by day and night. And he leads a session within TRG called Darren's Dojo. And the focus of the dojo is, unlike most of everything else we do in TRG, where we're talking about practicing your edge and defining your statistical advantages and real trading active stuff. In the dojo, we focus mostly on discussions around process, around psychology, around handling more of the trader rather than the trading. So that's what Darren's Dojo is all about. And he leads that session every week. And we get together and we talk about that stuff. No, it doesn't differ from the scalper mindset, I would say. It's mindset is mindset. Scalper, swing trader, whatever. That's more about, how does your edge work out? What is your time frame? What is your risk parameters? That kind of stuff. But things like, recently we've talked about handling the transition from evaluation to live account or funded, quote unquote, performance, whatever, depending on who you're with. We've talked about how to handle losses because they're inevitable. How to learn from losses. We talk about all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of psychology, a lot of process, a lot of how to make sure you've got things in place for your process to keep you out of trouble, to keep you from doing stupid things that you shouldn't do, et cetera. And again, it's not so much, it's not a class where it's like somebody teaching you, here's how you're going to do this. It's more of a roundtable discussion with a theme, and Darren leads it. Sometimes everybody just kind of listens and absorbs and takes notes. Other times we have interactivity and people bring their issues and say, well, recently I was struggling with this, and we talk about it and we dissect it, pick it apart, figure out, okay, where did you go wrong? What could you have done differently? What might you do to your process? How could you modify it to improve in the future? And, stuff like that. But the key is that the focus to the dojo is more about the trader themselves than the trading that they're doing. There's always overlap, of course. Nothing is totally black and white, but
Let me jump in here real quick, JVC, if I could. There's a question coming up about the scalper's mindset and whatnot. I do a rotating group of classes about scalping because I'm a scalper and have been my whole trading career mostly. And this month we're doing scalper's mindset every Monday, and that's about understanding context and then understanding execution, which are two parts. That's what the scalper's mindset is about this month. And there's sessions every Monday. Last month we did using jigsaw tools for scalping and the different jigsaw benefits, because there are some, and I spent some time demonstrating those. So the scalping stuff is almost always me teaching it, and it rotates a little bit. And this month in February, the scalper's mindset, as I said, is about understanding the difference between context and execution. Another way to look at that is understanding the difference between your general manager who runs your trading business and you, the trader who executes the trades. They are two very different mental pictures. So that's an answer. Yes.
Yes, indeed. So by all means, join us on a class. Pick whatever interests you. You can get a flavor of TRG. There's also, actually, I should have put this up here as well. There's youtube.com/trading research group. Not .com. We have a YouTube channel as well. There's tons of whoops, not what I meant to do. There we go. Tons of content on there. That's obviously free. It's YouTube. It's public. So if you guys want to get a feel for what TRG is all about, you can do so there as well. There's Jeff's recent Dino's weekly recap always contains a psychology component as well. So if that stuff interests you, definitely check that out. There's some playlists as well. There's an entire Dino's playlist. We do a free Monday morning kickoff call every Monday called Ides of Monday, just to kind of get our brains reset from having been away from the weekend and being able to get a perspective on the week ahead. By the way, thank you for the reminder, James Fox, in the chat, because I did forget. We were going to also do a specific sale offer for the folks on this call for LeeLoo, and I totally forgot to put that out there. So, Chris, how are we doing that?
Yeah, the code.
Yes. Is it just our regular code? I don't remember.
I'll have to look at the email because I think you were talking to Aisha about it, but let me go look here real quick.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
I don't know if he actually gave him a code. I didn't think so.
I think it was a different code. So let me just look here. 1 second.
I am doing that too. Oh, it looks like it came in this morning. There we go.
That's for the free express.
Those are for the free. Never mind. That's for the winners. I'll deal with that after.
1 second.
Sorry, gang. I thought we had this ready, but we don't. See.
Okay, anytime I have set up a random discount code. Okay. Oh wow, it is random. Let me put it in the chat. Okay,
perfect.
It's 80% off the first month, and then 50% off for the remaining lifetime for the 25K, 50K, and 150K. And then please know your permanent discount code. Let's tell you what. I'm going to change that. Don't use it yet. We'll do a in-life change. 80% off lifetime for you guys. Okay. So don't use this code yet. Let me go change it, okay? So just because we have so much fun, why not, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So coupons, 1 second. Don't buy it yet because you won't be at 80%.
Yep.
Lifetime. All right, 1 second here.
And I will put the chat up on screen, or the code up on screen as soon as we have it as well.
That's it. Let's see.
I don't know. I see a code with Chris Rock in it, and I think something different.
I just met Chris Rock actually.
Really?
Yeah. And we ran into each other at the FBO at the airport.
How random is that?
Yeah, he was landing in I missed what is the other guy's name?
Will Smith?
No, that's funny. Chappelle, Dave Chappelle.
Oh, Dave, yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
he went to the other airport, so I missed him. So we'll do 5 here. Let me see here. We'll do those recurring. Apply recurring. And hit, yep, your affiliate set up, safe. And
good point, real quick, everybody. Jeff just reminded us in the chat. There's the link to our Facebook group, which is Volume and Order Flow Traders. The Volume and Order Flow Traders group. We got 6,000 people in there that are into volume and order flow, and we talk about volume and order flow. Imagine that. Yeah. So, if you're a Facebooker, join us there too.
Yep, perfect. And so this is 80% off. Okay, lifetime.
Throw it in the chat.
Yep, doing it right now. And I think I said the 25K. 50K. And this is the regular accounts, the foundation accounts. And then the 150K. Okay. And you have, let me see how much time we got for you to take advantage of this. Guys, and remember, if you qualify in February, if you decide to do a one-time PA fee, it's $150. So phenomenal deal there. There's code.
Let me throw that up on screen.
Yep. And let me go check the code out.
Here's the other one. There it is.
Yeah, 25K, 50K, and 150K of their foundation accounts. 80% off lifetime until you cancel. And then, I think that covers that.
And for how long is that valid, Chris?
Yep. Oh, God, that's what I was looking for. Let me see here. So it looks like we put it. Let me change that real quick here. So, let's take 2027. This. I'm sorry?
The year 2027.
2027, yeah. Let's do it. You got between now and Monday. How about, do you think that's enough time?
Some people might not watch the recording the weekend if they're doing family stuff. So,
okay, when do you put the recording up?
I'm going to try to get it up today. I'm going to get it up today. Could we possibly do through the week?
Let's do it to the week. So what day is today? We're in the 4th?
Today's the 4th.
So let's go. What about until Friday, the 10th?
Yeah. So okay. Friday night, like 11:59 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So, yeah. All day Friday. So you got until Friday the 10th.
Friday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. Perfect.
All right. Let me hit save here.
Good stuff.
Remember, if you qualify in February, $150 for a one-time PA fee. Not a bad deal.
Yes, indeed.
Did you see that last question? How long do the winners have to use the winners? Their winnings?
The free ones. Yeah.
So let me see what's set up. But usually we don't put a limit on it. So let me just double check on this real quick here. I can check. But let's just say they don't have a limit. So if they did, we'll take care of that.
Okay. And Lee, just to clarify, Zoom, we have everybody's email addresses here. Is that correct?
Yeah, everybody who's registered for this webinar. Yeah.
Cool. So we can reach out to them with their code. So I guess I'll get with you, Chris, after this call, and we will sort out getting these folks codes for their prizes. Yes?
Yep. Got it. Yep.
Perfect. Daniel, your question, limit.
Yes, sorry. It was up to 5 per trader. Up to 5.
Quantity. Yeah. Okay. Up to 5.
Up to 5 per trader.
5 times per trader. Cool.
Yeah, good question. I forgot to include that. Yep. Up to 5 per trader.
Good stuff. And renewal will be regular price. Is that correct, Chris? Because
no.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Brain fart. This is lifetime. Never mind. Lifetime. So the renewal is whatever 80% of the price of these 3 accounts.
Yeah, and those are not. Yeah, this is our regular accounts, so foundation accounts. Yep. So whatever that is, then yep, you're set every month until you cancel.
And resets are what are they? 85.
They're $85.
Yeah, 85 for a reset. Daniel, the fishing trip, it depends on if Jeff is busy or has other reasons he can't attend. He's frequently there, but it's run by Lee. It's really Lee's structural fishing trip. But I'm usually there. Jeff is often there. And of course, TRG folks are there.
I'm often there, and I interrupt with price action setups just for fun. So.
Just to drive Lee crazy.
Yeah. There's a good point there, really quick, that a lot of times you can have structural setups that are one way, and there can be a really good price action scalping setup both ways at that same point. So I interject those sometimes, just to be clear.
Happens all the time. Cool. Let's see. Oh, which accounts? Aspire, Launch, and Cruise. I don't remember the names offhand. It's whatever they call their 25, 50, and 150s. I've never memorized the names.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's those normal accounts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good stuff, gang. Thank you so much. You guys have been awesome. This is great attendance. Thanks for coming out and spending a couple hours with us. I did not expect this to go this long or get quite this much activity. So this was a ton of fun. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris, for your time. Thank you, Jeff and Lee as well, from everybody in TRG for joining us. And let's say burning desires, which is what we say in TRG when a meeting is wrapping up. It's your last chance. If there's anything you just got to say, now is your chance. Otherwise, we shall go about our lives. A monthly event. I don't know if we have it in us to do this every month, but we'll think about it. Cool. Looks like that's it.
And one more quick thank you for hosting, JVC. You did a phenomenal job as usual, and we're honored and privileged to have you.
No problem. Oh, a real quick answer to Theorith. We do not have a Discord. Discords, I find, are incredibly noisy and not terribly useful. They are frequently very crowded, lots of people, but not a lot of high noise, low signal, put it that way. TRG, on the other hand, for the most part, is very high signal and very low noise. If you get in the pit in our community, the people who are there are serious, and it's a good place, a good group to associate yourself with. There's a question apparently from Maria that I missed. What's a lifetime fee if you qualified after February? Oh, that would be what, $250?
It is $250.
Regular.
Yep.
$250. Yeah. So after February, it goes to $250. Hopefully that answered you, Maria. Okay, it did. Excellent. All right, gang. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. And again, to the winners of the free accounts, we will be reaching out to you ASAP to get you a code for those. And everybody else, we'll see you around. Hopefully we'll see some new names and faces in the pit. Grab the free courses and I will see you there. Have a good one all.
Thank you.